Rishi Sunak was grilled by Parliament's liaison committee today with Labour loudmouth Chris Bryant, forcing him to admit he hadn't read the damaging Privileges Committee report that saw 7 of his MPs shockingly slammed for speaking out against the Boris Johnson witch hunt.
Do you think that they should apologise to the House?
I haven't actually gone through the report yet, so...
You haven't read the report?
No, I haven't been through the report yet in detail. I've seen it being reported, and I've been very clear in the past that...
But you asked Zach Goldsmith to apologise?
Yes, because he's a
So
minister.
you have read it sufficiently to note that Zach Goldsmith should apologise?
Yes, I've read the findings report. I haven't read the report from cover to cover, no. But I have read the
It's about 3 pages long.
Despite the left's hysterical demands for apologies, the Johnson 7, or Magnificent 7, as sources close to Boris have recently rebranded them, are refusing, quite rightly, to allow their free speech to be curtailed in wild Westminster. Among them is former Education Minister Dame Andrea Jenkyns, who was publicly slammed by the committee for publishing just one tweet back in March, which read, "The evidence submitted by Boris Johnson shows clearly that his case is compelling, clear and strong. I hope to see him fully exonerated and to put an end to this kangaroo court." Well, lock her up and throw away the key, right? In this ridiculous new world where free speech in Parliament is banned, thank goodness Dame Andrea Jenkyns is not going to be bowed, and she joins me live in the studio tonight to give her exclusive first response to the accusations levelled against her. So, Andrea Jenkyns, this is utterly terrifying. It is chilling. I thought we had a parliamentary democracy which absolutely prized free speech. Yet you are now facing the potential end of your career if you're censured and end up suspended from Parliament simply for criticising a kangaroo court witch hunt, which, by the way, was a kangaroo court witch hunt.
I agree, Dan. It's incredibly chilling. I mean, the committee was set up for a specific remit. It ruled on that, but I feel that it's overreaching, actually. And, you know, what kind of democracy and, as you said, freedom of speech do we live in if an MP cannot openly voice their opinions on a parliamentary committee? It's crazy. And it's a slippery slope. And, I mean, my concern is the freedom of speech. You know, everybody should be entitled to freedom of speech in this country. And what kind of country are we living in if we cannot voice an opinion?
But this is gross overreach by the Privileges Committee, because you didn't make these comments in Parliament. I mean, number one, you should have been protected if you did. But you tweeted this. Jacob Rees-Mogg said it on his GB News show. So what the Privileges Committee is saying, it can stop people from expressing their opinion in a public forum. I mean, I'm sorry, is this North Korea or China?
It's like the Spanish Inquisition, in my opinion, actually, Dan. I mean, it is just crazy. I haven't personally attacked anybody on the committee. It was that simple tweet that you said there.
Yeah, there we're looking at there. But Andrea, I'm sorry, there are there's lots and lots of evidence that backs up what you said in that tweet. Harriet Harman, the chairman of the committee, already declared Boris Johnson guilty before she heard any evidence. So I think you're completely entitled to say what you said.
I mean, on Monday, we've got this is going to be debated in Parliament, and let's see if the opposition, you know, push for a vote on this. But I'm going to use the parliamentary privilege to, you know, voice my strong opinions on this matter, Dan.
The thing is, Andrew,
I feel that it's been trying to silence us, actually. I mean, this is why. I mean, this is why I've been like a week coming out, because you've got to tread carefully. And what kind of country are we living in?
That's terrifying.
It is very terrifying. It's chilling, like you said.
Because you are someone who prizes the fact that you speak out on the issues that you are passionate about. But I find that so terrifying that you actually had to think for a week.
Absolutely.
Because that's what they want.
And it's not who I am.
No. Absolutely.
It's that inner fight, really, because, you know, the consequences, if they pushed it that far, with the opposition putting amendments in, it goes to the committee, if it gets to that stage, and then it could be amendable by the opposition, where, you know, would it end up in a by-election?
So you could face a recall election?
It could do at its worst. I'm hoping, you know, that colleagues won't push that, because it's ludicrous. Yeah. This is just a simple tweet voicing an opinion on a parliamentary committee. But I can't believe we're even having this conversation.
No, but
actually.
you know why we're having this conversation, because this is about trampling on the future career of Boris Johnson. The Magnificent Seven, you are all some of Boris's strongest allies.
We are.
Priti Patel, Jacob Rees-Mogg, Nadine Dorries, look, there you all are. And they're only coming after you because they want to finish Boris Johnson off for good. And what's so shocking to me, Andrea, is that, and I know this is difficult for you to talk about, but a lot of these dark forces are within your own
completely.
party.
I mean, we've seen the leader of the House praising the work of the committee, etc. And look how 118 of my colleagues voted on the free vote a couple of weeks ago on Boris Johnson. It's incredibly disappointing.
And then breaking tonight, this news that Andrea Jenkyns, who was part of this kangaroo court witch hunt, is now being investigated by the police because he attended a lockdown-breaking party. Now, firstly, I think this is a ridiculous waste of police time, but he's only in this mess because he orchestrated the witch hunt against Boris.
And I believe everyone's innocent until proven guilty. But that's what we, myself, we should be facing the same. And can I just say, Dan, about this committee, none of the seven of us knew that we was going to be named until we read it. No.
And you were also, by the way, given no opportunity to respond or give your own evidence. So I'm sorry, the Privileges Committee has actually subverted any usual court practice. They're not following any laws.
And back to Bernard, though. As I said, innocent and proven guilty, but we're hearing rumours, aren't we, of Theresa May and some other key names there.
They were all at it.
But to me, if people's broke rules, then they should face the same consequences as anybody else.
Well, at the end of the day, Boris Johnson has faced the consequence of being forced to leave Parliament. So I'm sorry, if you're part of that witch hunt, very intriguing tweet, by the way, and of course I do agree with you, innocent until proven guilty, from Guido Fawkes tonight, saying, did you attend a lockdown drinks party in Rosie Winterton's parliamentary office? Chris Bryant.
Wow.
The head of the Privileges Committee. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't. Not obviously only on Guido earlier, but I mean, I'm hugely disappointed in Chris Bryant's behaviour actually, because he, he's well renowned for his knowledge of parliamentary history, and he of all people should realise how important freedom of speech is.
But he wants to finish off Boris Johnson more than anyone. Look, final question. Rishi Sunak says he hasn't read the report. Doesn't he need to read the report and actually stop this witch hunt? He's the man that could do it. I
think he needs to read the report the Chief Whip does. By the way, I certainly didn't hear from my whip about this.
So you've been left hung out to dry?
It feels like that.
Really shocking stuff. Andrea Jenkyns, do you know what? I know it's taken you a week, but I'm so glad you're speaking out against this, because we have to stand up for free speech. Jacob Rees-Mogg said the same thing earlier tonight. This is an absolute core principle of Westminster democracy.
And I've been there in the chamber on Monday speaking out.